Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Catherine Jones with the beautiful Muslimah Monday. And today we're going to talk about that I'm not good enough thing. The reality is you're okay just the way you are. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created you to be just the way you are. And that is perfect. We often, however, don't feel good enough, and I want to share where that idea comes from. Generally speaking, it starts when we're quite young. It starts with us interpreting things as a child that may not necessarily mean that we're not good enough, but that's the message we've taken from those situations. So for instance, I give you an example. When I was 13 and I came home with a report card that had, I think, 7 A's and 2 B's. I had an A+ in maths and I had a B in English. I had an A in woodwork, right? Just to give you a bit of a background. All that was said was, why did I get a B for English? Why did I waste my time getting an A for woodwork? Now that interpretation of my results was really inaccurate, and it was really quite devastating for me as a 13-year-old. For instance, the A+ in maths was overlooked. I didn't lose a single mark the whole semester in maths, and that was overlooked. The fact that I got an A in woodwork was irrelevant because I didn't even try. Woodwork wasn't a subject that I found difficult. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I didn't put much effort in, and I got an A, right? So it wasn't like getting an A in woodwork was jeopardizing me getting an A in English. It just turns out that I had a mindset pretty much all through my entire schooling that I was no good at English. And that mindset alone, and where it came from, I'm not sure, was probably the barrier to me getting an A in English. In fact, the only A I ever got in English was when I was in year 11 and I got an A-. And I dropped English at the end of year 11 and did French instead because I was sick of the whole story around why I couldn't get an A for English. So while that's just one situation, it was something that left a long-term impact on me because, as you can see, I'm telling you this story. I'm, well, much, much older now, and it's a long time ago, but it still is there as a very clear memory. It doesn't have any emotional impact on me now, but I do realize the impact it had on me at the time. And it wasn't the first time that I had taken a situation and interpreted it as not good enough, but that was one of the really strong nails in the coffin, as they say, that really hammered that home. It was probably way down the track when I was much, much younger that I started interpreting things to be that I wasn't good enough. And what tends to happen is we build this filter, and then when things happen, we collect them up and say, see, that proves I'm not good enough. And then something else happens and we go, see, that proves I'm not good enough. And this feeling of not being good enough, it really is in our own head because we are good enough. Now, the other problem that we can have is that the people around us keep also stating things that say we're not good enough. And while for some people, they just ignore that, for somebody who's grown up with this idea in their mind that they're not good enough, like have perceived things from their childhood that means that, when someone in their adult life says you're not good enough for in some way or another, then we really take it on board because we already believe it. Or the other thing that happens is we don't question it because that person could be completely wrong, There's nothing to say that their reality or what they believe is actually true. So today I want you to really reflect upon whether this is something that's going on for you. If you don't think that you are truly a beautiful Muslimah, inside and out, the way Allah created you, then perhaps there is a bit of I'm not good enough going on in there. And what I want you to do is I want you to comment below with what your thoughts are on that, where you think that might have come from. Is that something that's going on now, or is this something that has gone back a long way? I just want you to dig deep and see, where is that message coming from? And the other thing I would like you to do when you're having those moments when you don't think you're good enough, I want you to remember, I'm perfect just the way I am. Going back to what we did a couple of weeks ago, you are perfect just the way you are. You are good enough. Whatever it is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created you for, the purpose for you in this world, you can do it. You can make it happen. You can leave a legacy behind you that's you fulfilling your purpose in this life. And the only way that you're going to do that is by understanding you're good enough. So don't forget, comment below what your thoughts are. Do you struggle from this? It may well be that you don't. It may well be that you used to. Share that with us. Let's just open the discussion. Let's blow all this stuff out of the water and shine as the beautiful Muslim sisters that we are. This is Catherine Jones signing off this week. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.